Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to part one of our Titanic data analysis series. So, today we are starting with loading the data set, and then we're going to explore it and check for any missing values. Okay, so let me first name the project Titanic project. Okay, so first thing first, we're going to import the libraries. So, first, let's import the libraries we'll need. We're going to start with importing numpy as np, import pandas to handle our data as pd, and then we're going to import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt, and then we're going to import Seaborn as sns. Okay, so we are using pandas to handle our data, numpy for numerical operations, and matplotlib and Seaborn to help us visualize patterns later on. So let's go ahead and run these imports. Okay, so now next thing is we're gonna load the dataset. So now we're gonna load the Titanic dataset using pd.read_csv. Okay, so let's start it. Data equal to pd.read_csv, because that's the format of our file. Then the name of the file, titanic.csv, and now I'm gonna use the print command, data.head. Okay, so this function reads the csv file into a pandas data frame. Okay, so let's display the first few rows to get an initial look at what exactly we are working with. Okay, so let's start it. So yeah, so now we have initial look of what exactly we are working on. Okay, so so we can see columns like survival. Okay, over here Pclass is there, age, embarked, etc. Okay, so each row represents a passenger, and each column gives information like whether they survived, their class, gender, and so on. Okay, and so to get an overview of our data set, so let's call another thing which we're going to use is called data.describe. So this gives us essential statistics like mean, standard deviation, and other stuff for numerical columns. Okay, so let's start it. Print data.describe. So let's run it. Exactly. So now we can see the average age of passenger is around 29 years. Okay, and while fare prices vary widely, reflecting different ticket classes. Okay, so later on we're gonna check for missing values. Okay, so let's do it. So lastly, let's check for any missing values. Exactly, so missing data can create problems later on, so let's analyze this first. So we need to understand where it exists in our data set. Okay, so let's execute that. So print, we're going to use isNull over here, isNull data frame. Okay, so yeah, so exactly, so we see that columns like age and embarked have missing values, and you can see over there age got 177, embarked got 2 missing values. And in the next video we'll address these gaps and prepare our data for visualization. Okay, so let's move on to the next part of it. So here we used isNull, right, at 5 number. Okay, so isNull is actually a method. It's something we use on a data frame to check for missing values. So when you apply it to a data frame, it returns a new data frame, okay, of the same shape, filled with true for missing values and false for the rest. Okay, and so yeah, so isNull gives a data frame back, and then we can identify where values are missing. Okay, as you can see over here. Okay, so yeah, so let's move on. Hey, what's up, everyone? So welcome back. So now uh, we are going to focus on data cleaning. Okay, specifically filling in missing values. So our data set is ready for analysis. Okay, so now in the earlier parts we saw the age and embarked columns had missing values. Okay, so let's discuss how to handle these effectively. Okay, so now we are starting with data age, as you can see over here, starting with age. Since it's a numerical column, we'll use the median age to fill in missing values. Okay, and the median is often a good choice because it isn't affected by extreme values as much as the mean. Okay, so now this is the code walkthrough. I've already implemented it over here. Okay, and this single line, okay, as you can see over here, replaces all the nan values in the age column with the median age. Okay, so now we have consistent values for all the passenger ages. Okay, and then later on is the embarked column, which represents the port where each passenger boarded. Since this is a categorical column, we'll fill in the missing values with the mode or most common value, which is a good default for categorical data. Okay, and then later on we are using mode, which gives us the most frequent value in the column. Okay, this I'm talking about. And then later on we'll recheck the dataset to make sure we have filled in all the missing values. Okay, over here. So now our data set is complete with no missing values, as you can see over here, for the most part. Okay, and in the next part we'll move into visualizations. Okay, from 10th point we'll move into visualizations to gain deeper insights into survival rates based on gender. Okay, as you can see, only cabin got null values. Apart from that, there isn't any null value, missing value over here. Okay, so let's move on. Hey, what's up? So now we will visualize and analyze key survival factors in the Titanic dataset. So visualization is crucial for understanding patterns and correlations. So let's start it. So earlier I had not imported Seaborn library. So now I have done that. Okay, because my code was not being able to understand what SNS is. So I have imported Seaborn library just for the purpose of it. Okay, and so now first thing first, we're gonna visualize as count plot over here. So let's see how survival rates differ by gender. So I have used a count plot for that to show how many males and females survived or didn't survived. So this plot shows that a higher proportion of females, as you can see over here, survived, you know, and so you can see over here. So the high proportion of females survived compared to males, which reflects the women and children first policy. Okay, which is often discussed with the Titanic tragedy, you know. So yeah, and moving on to our next visualization, which is bar plot. So now we'll discuss, we'll showcase through a visualization that what is the survival rate by passenger class, you know. So this bar plot over here shows us how likely survival was based on whether someone was in first, second or third class, you know. So this is the code walkthrough. So sns.bar plot. Okay, Pclass survived and survival rate by passenger class. So we can see that passengers for the most part in first class had a much higher survival rate than those in third class, which is being indicated through this bar plot. So this indicates that the class played a huge role in survival chances. So now let's moving on to our next visualization, which is correlation heat map, which is for the most part the most complicated visualization among all these visualizations which we are doing in this Titanic dataset. Because for the numerical features, we have to use correlation heat map, because we have to find out the correlations between different numerical features. So we can calculate easily, these numerical features using correlation matrix, and we can use a heat map to do that. So this is the code walkthrough over here. As you can see, you can pause the video. And then, cross check it. So yeah, and then the heat map shows us relationships between numerical variables. For instance, we got fear and Pclass over here, as I showed earlier. Okay, and so yeah, so I think fear and Pclass have a negative correlation, meaning higher classes passengers paid more, and passengers of lower classes paid less, and so yeah, so let's moving on to our last and final visualization, which is age distribution by survival status. Okay, and so we'll look at how age relates to survival with a box plot over here. Okay, and so this plot helps us to see the age distribution for those who survived and those who didn't. Okay, so you can see over here. So this box plot suggests younger passengers had a survival rate which is higher, which aligns with the idea that children were prioritized for lifeboats, and so yeah, same thing, children factor also we came to know through our another plot, where females and children were having a higher survival rate, and so yeah, so through these visualizations we have gained insights into factors that influenced survival on the Titanic, such as gender, class, and age. Okay, so thanks for joining, and be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on other datasets you would like us to analyze. Okay, so this was all about it.